Hi all, this is Solo, and today we are going to be covering the Phantom X model, the free-to-play model for new players, and what the community's reaction is to the China and the European or the global server, right? So, Phantom X follows the usual gacha model, right? Players collect premium currency, gems, tickets to pull for new characters and weapons. Free-to-play players get a steady drip of these currencies through daily logins and events. For example, many players note that the daily stamina and energy refills are generous. One veteran Korean server player reported getting the stamina regen items like crazy, 5 social actions and 240 grind stamina per day. I currently have 100 full regen drinks, he said, and you can grind them out if you need more stuff. This is from a guy in Reddit. In short, each day you regenerate energy called action points. You can also accumulate reserves, so dedicated free players can do a lot of content without paying. Community Q&As confirm that Persona 5 X even provides a guaranteed 5-star character to new players after a set number of beginner pools. You get to choose one of the original Phantom Thieves, Morgana, Ryuji or Anna, free of charge. I have actually got these as well. In practice, this means free-to-play players can also attain several powerful 5-star units without spending any money, which is good, right? As one user summarized, even if you don't spend money, you can still get one 5-star character, plus pulls lots of free times, right? You get a lot of free pulls. So you can build a strong team. In fact, a Reddit player boasting 200 hours of the free-to-play model said that he had unlocked almost every character, and they really give a lot of freebies, all to everyone, right? This suggests that the base story and most of the content of the free-to-play player is accessible. Free-to-play players eventually get the intended cast and gear. Right, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a start. If you're a new player, this is what you want to hear, right? But stamina, energy, and grind, right? So despite these freebies, this is where it gets different. Often players encounter stamina limits. These are called energy in game. It's a gate progression. Each story dungeon run consumes points, and one daily point are used up every time. You must either wait to use these items. Developers have tried to ease this by dropping plenty of refill items, but some players still describe the game as grindy. Repeated runs are needed to farm materials for gears and character upgrades. One critical comment captured this concern. I'm not down for this gacha bullshit. I heard you have a limit on the number of things you can do in a day unless you spend real money. Right, which he's got a point, right? And if you want any cool shit, you're going to have to use the gacha, which means spending money. This is obviously another comment from the Reddit people. He's not wrong though, right? I'm actually stuck against one of the story bosses at the minute, and I actually have to, last couple of days, I'm level 55, and I actually have to grind out my currency to upgrade. My guy's level 60, and I'm unable to beat him yet until I actually hit that cap, and I do not intend to spend money, right? So I'm sort of stuck as well at this point. In practice, this often becomes a grind-based challenge. Free-to-play players report spending extra weeks gathering gems and tickets. This is the ping that's going to put people off, right? To try and pull for new characters. After banner rotations accelerate, veteran players note that the global release is on an accelerated schedule. This is really bad, by the way. Stacking banners back to back to catch up with the Chinese version. This is from PC Gamer. That is the comment they left. This leaves less downtime to the Horde currency, and to combined with a fewer beginner rewards, free-to-play players feel rushed, as PC Gamer reports. Western fans found that the launch rewards were cut in half. For example, 100 gems versus 300 gems in the China version, and special login campaigns offered fewer pools. The result, global players accuse the game of being predatory and having an accelerated schedule that makes everything feel manic. One Steam review raged that Western players are getting treated like trash and second-hand citizens, basically, compared to the Asia servers. In short, the grind for the free-to-play players has become steeper under the global monetization schedule. This is actually really, really bad because I'm actually a global player myself, and I am actually stuck now at level 55. I got through most of the game. I got a couple of 4-star, a couple of 5 stars, but yes, I am actually hitting them barriers as well. So I thought this is really, really good to talk about. So let's go to the next step: skill and monetization barriers. Importantly, skill is not the main barrier in this game. Persona RPG mechanics remain in place, and the players generally say that if you have the right party and strategy, content is beatable. One commenter emphasized on the comments of a Reddit post that free-to-play players can clear endgame content with ease just by playing diligently. The real bottleneck this time is the resources, not combat skill, right? So it's basically resource based, not combat skill. Skill doesn't really matter in this game as such. The primary frustrations are that certain powerful characters and weapons require luck or grinding to obtain, and the real-time events enforce weekly or monthly play goals. So you're locked into a certain amount of time you have to play each month or each week to get to a certain point in the game because of that free-to-play grind lock, right? For example, some endgame battles introduce enemies that respond only to specific elemental attacks. A few players noted while all characters can eventually be acquired free, whales, paying players, whales who spend a lot of money, right, get higher awakening levels, which are like level ups for your characters, and duplicate bonus faster, meaning that free-to-play players must work harder to match damage output. One strategically focused Redditor pointed out that the duplication materials for 4-star characters slowly trickle in, so free-to-play players are eating good. That's what he said. With strong healer or DPS units like Marion, a top-tier healer, becomes permanent. However, others counter this time. The difference is just a matter of grind. You can spend money to get these items quicker, but due in time, you will have to have the characters you want. As for the daily limit, almost every free game has some type of limit. So, I mean, it's basically cucking free-to-play players if you're on a global server. It just seems like China has way better rewards, right? That leads us to our next topic: China versus global. How the rewards are disputed or just get given to China versus global players. So, Chinese players have largely focused on their own server so far, where the game is initially very generous, with rewards. Noticeably early Chinese language discussions and translators praised Persona 5X free-to-play model friendliness. For instance, one Chinese Q&A dubbed the game a very friendly to free-to-play players, rating it a 7.5 out of 10 for a gacha game. This is on Reddit. Other Chinese comments noted that the story quest has no paywalls or daily limits. Well, it has daily limits, but very little, meaning that you can progress by playing each day, right? Overall, Chinese feedback has been more than positive. The Chinese version gave players ample free pulls, social points, and stamina items to keep up. By contrast, Western players were frustrated when the international launch proved leaner. Both press and social media note that global players receive a small login bonus and higher pity pools counts than their Chinese counterparts. Kotaku reported fans discovered smaller rewards compared to the Chinese audience and review bombed the game and before the devs could even respond. Western users complained on Steam that the global version are being treated like second-hand citizens. Sega eventually addressed these complaints with a public statement in July 2025, promising to consider this feedback and explain future plans. A sign that monetization discontent is real, basically addressing that there is actually a barrier difference, and the global version you are getting cucked, right? If you're a free-to-play player like me. In summary, the barrier for free-to-play newcomers in Persona 5X is mostly monetization, it's grind-based, not skill-based. The core gameplay, the story, the battles, the characters, the builds, The Palace Exploration is fully beatable with the free content provided, but the gacha system and the stamina economy force free-to-play players to grind, save currency from events, play every reset, so basically daily, and often fall behind wailing players who get better gear and better duplicate bonuses faster. The pay-to-fast nature of Phantom X means that paying players simply have more advantage to get more quicker. Through the devs' claim, there is no outright pay-to-win element. Even leaderboard rewards are largely cosmetic, apparently. To a large extent, community settlement falls into two camps. Some players, often those who experience with Asian release of the game, stress that Persona 5X is generous and friendly to free-to-play players. After a long grind, you can unlock nearly all the units and clear the story without spending too much money, or any money. Well, any money really if you're free-to-play, right? Others, especially Western players, launch saying the opposite. Accelerated banner schedules are reducing freebies and making the late game feel gated, which I am actually having that exact problem right now. The point to delay character releases on a standard banner, higher pull counts, and removed login gifts are a key pain points for free-to-play players on the global version. Right, so let's get to the conclusion of this discussion. Persona 5X, Persona 5 The Phantom X is free to play. It is the free to play model is a mixed bag, right? Free to play players can technically access endgame content, yes. The game is designed so you don't have to pay to finish the story or assemble a viable team. However, doing so requires patience, a lot of patience, and grind. If you dislike long grinds or heavy gacha spam, you might find this game frustrating as a new free-to-play player, especially in the new global updates and the global version. Keep up a breakneck pace in the global version to be able to keep up with the whales. The devs have promised to listen to your feedback, so it is possible for some free-to-play players to hit barriers like limited daily actions or missing global bonuses. Could ease over time, but for now, players are divided. Some celebrate the steady flow of free gems and tickets, while others warn that only whales will skip the grind. So that is the little discussion we're having basically on this topic. I've been playing the free-to-play model myself. I am now level 54, 55. I'm at the second palace in the game, and I've hit the boss at the end of the palace. And because I have not leveled up every single character in my roster to level 60, and I haven't leveled the weapons up to level 60, even with the right elements against the boss, I am actually now struggling because I'm running out of materials daily, and I do not have any stamina refills because I've used them all to get materials to try and level my guys up to then try and beat the boss, which I still can't. And most of my characters are level 60, but I have to level up the characters, I have to level up the weapons, I have to level up the persona, I have to level up the cards as well that come with the each character. So you have 4 different types of things you need to level up with materials, and obviously you have a minimum of 4 characters, but you have to level up more than 4 characters because obviously the different elements based on who you are fighting, who is weak and who is strong against what. And obviously you need to level them up to max to fight this boss, and I am currently in the process of wasting my daily grinds and my max energy to actually just get materials to level up my character, which is probably going to take another couple of days, right? So yeah, in my personal opinion, Persona 5 Phantom X, the free-to-play model for the global server, it's okay. I didn't have any issues until I hit sort of level 50. As soon as I hit level 50, I started running out of materials, I started running out of points, I started having to use way more stamina than I needed to level up just to get through the game. You can beat it with a free-to-play model, but Jesus Christ, most people are either going to give up because they don't want to waste their time grinding on a free-to-play model, or they're going to turn into a whale and whale out. But then, honestly, I think it's a bad idea to whale out on Persona 5 Phantom X, because you're simply going to hit a wall. Yes, you're going to pay this time, you're going to beat the second boss, you're gonna get, I don't know, into the third area, maybe even clear the third area if you whale really hard, right? But then after that, you're eventually going to hit a wall, and the only way to get past that wall, you're never going to be able to do it after that point. You're going to have to either spend like literally a month on a free-to-play model, or you have to spend more money. And I think it's an absolute terrible idea to spend money, because this game's designed for you to hit a wall. They do it on purpose to try and get you to spend money. I really like the game. I think the game's really, really good. But as a free-to-play player, I now am starting to understand where the frustration is coming from. And honestly, I think they need to be more generous, like they did in the Chinese servers, and stop cucking the global server people. And basically, they need to up their game, right? And I hope the devs, if the devs do eventually hear this, if they ever do, just make it as generous as the Chinese version, and you won't have any more issues, right? The fact that the Chinese version has so much more bonuses compared to the global version is shocking. You should just copy paste it, really, just in a different language. The fact that you're making it different is really, really weird to me. I don't understand why you got two games and they're completely different to each other. I understand that you are far ahead in the Chinese version compared to the global version in terms of content, but you can just backdate that content to where it was in the Chinese version on the global version as the first, the standard pools and whatnot. But just be just as generous as you are on the Chinese version. That's my opinion for the free-to-play players, because I think you will lose free-to-play players. I think they'll just go elsewhere. There's so many games out now on phone and on PC and Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, Steam. There's so many different games. If you're going to be a pain in the ass for the free-to-play players, all they're going to do is find another game to play. And I really hope if you hear this, you take a sort of advice to sort of take it seriously, right? If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you all on the next Persona 5 Phantom X video. Peace.